We're going to talk about what assignment means legally and the process for doing that. We're also going to show you how you can actually make money in real estate by actually never owning the property, but simply putting it in contract for sale. So let's dive right in. An assignment means that you're giving to someone else the opportunity to execute on a contract. So if I have a real estate contract on a property and I personally do not want to close it, one of the ways to still buy the property is to assign it to a different person or a different entity. Entity being a corporation or an LLC. So when I make a contract to buy a property, I would put Paul Maguire and or assignee. And in that case, what I would do is I would allow the assignee to take what I negotiated in terms of a contract and perform or close or execute on that contract. An example would be one that I actually was assigned to me was a company that buys real estate, puts it in contract, and then assigns me or sells me the contract, in this case, for about $20,000. So they negotiated a price that was very favorable. I paid them $20,000. I then bought the property and I kept the property. I'm going to fix up the property and rent the property. I didn't find this property. It was never on the market. So when they assigned this property to me, it allowed me the opportunity to make money by buying and holding over time, and allowed them to make money with never owning the property. All they had to do was go out and find someone who wanted to sell, negotiate a price, put it in contract, and assign it to me. Another example of assignment is where, as I said, Paul Maguire and or assignee, I'll assign the contract to an entity that I own. So let's say I'll have ABC LLC. Paul Maguire hereby assigns to ABC LLC this contract. And then that LLC would execute and close all the legal documents in escrow, and the title would be in ABC LLC instead of Paul Maguire. This is often done for both purposes of liability and also done for purposes of putting the property in its own entity. So it's separate from every other property. It can also be done because you are bringing in other people who are going to invest with you. So you may tie up the property in your name and then assign it to an LLC where you own a percentage and maybe your investors own a percentage. That's another way of assigning a contract in real estate so as to get it out of your name and into the group of people. Assignments are also used to create opportunities for people to invest in a property. So in this case, I would put a property in my name or my company's name, and then I would find investors to come in and buy it. So let's say, like yesterday, I wrote an offer for $4.6 million for an apartment building. And let's say that I wanted to bring in investors. I'll assign that to an LLC that the investors invested in, and then the LLC's funds that the investors put into the LLC would be used as the down payment to close the property. The bank would be lending to the LLC, not to me personally, and the entity, the LLC or the corporation, having been assigned the contract for the real estate, would now close on the contract. So I may have, say, myself and two other people. Those equity partners or those other two people would put money in escrow, which would be the down payment. I would negotiate, say, the loan, and all three of us would be on the loan and they would take a piece of the pie. So that is assignment, and that's what it means. Don't forget to subscribe to my website, like, comment, and get notifications if this is something you want to continue to learn about and get free information. So when assigning a contract in real estate, you have to keep in mind that you also have to get all the disclosures for the person that you assigned it to. So when you assign a contract, that doesn't relieve you of getting them all the disclosures. Make sure you get those from the seller and you provide them everything they need to know. They're making a contract with you, and when you assign that contract, you have some obligation to them to let them know what they are assigned. Like, what are you selling them? What are you giving them? And if they're giving you compensation for that, make sure you fully disclose what's in the assignment and what's the terms of the contract are, what the property is, and so forth. Very important. Now, some people use assignments simply to wholesale property. So assignment in wholesaling simply means I put a property in contract, I have an assignment agreement, I assign that to somebody else. Assignment in apartment buildings and raising equity, we talked about. Assignment in estate sales means that a contract or a real estate property may be assigned to an executor of an estate in order to fulfill it or to handle it. So let's say you have somebody that passed away, but they had signed a contract. That contract may be assigned to their estate, so their estate can execute on the terms of the contract and so forth. Assignment is commonly used, mostly though, to move things from individuals into corporations and LLC. I'm Paul Maguire. Join me on the next video where I'm going to talk about how do I find comps for a property? What are these properties worth? And how do I figure it out? You know, if I'm not a realtor and I don't have access to the multiple listing service, is there ways to figure out what a property is worth and find out? You're going to learn on the next video, so I'll see you there.